This is unbelievable. Elaine Thompson Herah and Herah Fraser Pryce are in a whole nother level. Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Now go ahead, please hit the subscribe button so we can continue to grow. When you do that, go ahead and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video drops, which is about once a day here on Peter Lloyd World. Also, if you enjoyed the content, please hit that like button. And finally, leave your comments after this sports analysis where we break down the races and then we take a look at your comments. So stay until the end. You just might hear from yourself. Are you ready? Yep, good to go. Elaine Thompson Herah and Herah Fraser Pryce have proven once again that they're just in a whole nother level. Now, every generation there's a Flojo, Alison Felix, or a Merlin Ottey. But to have two of the most remarkable female sprinters at the same time in the same generation is nearly impossible. And the fact is, these athletes have continuously demonstrated within their entire career, but most certainly in the last 24 months, that they are at a whole different place. In other words, when you get right down to it, in the women's 100-meter finals at the World Athletic Championships to be held in Eugene, Oregon, the race is really only between these two ladies, Elaine Thompson Herah and Herah Fraser Pryce. So let us tell you why we believe they're in a whole nother level. As we all anxiously awaited the finals of the women's 100 meters at the Prefontaine Classic held in Eugene, Oregon recently, most of us understood that we were really discussing what would happen in second and third. You see, it was a foregone conclusion that Elaine Thompson Herah would have won and won comfortably, which she did in a remarkable time of 10.79. Now, in a race that featured some of the fastest sprinters in the world, including Shericka Jackson, Dina Asher-Smith, Jose Marita Lu Kambunji, Tanya Daniels, Brianna Williams, and Sha'Carri Richardson, the winner, Elaine Thompson Herah, clearly separated herself from the field and was an easy meter, if not 2 meters, ahead of her compatriots, and looked easy doing this. Not long after crushing the women's 100 meters, Herah Fraser Pryce, in the 200 meters, not her pet event, also won and dominated some of the top female sprinters in the 200-meter category at the Prefontaine Classic in Eugene, Oregon. She again made it look easy. In fact, at one point, Jennifer Pandini of the United States attempted to challenge her about the beginning of the last 100 meters, but Fraser Pryce simply put herself in another gear and sped off to a rather comfortable victory. Now, although 22.41 was not necessarily fast, the way in which Herah Fraser Pryce won was absolutely and irrefutably dominant. Now, since the opening of her outdoor 100-meter season, Elaine Thompson Herah has been running sub-11s as if it's the norm. In fact, we have seen so many sub-11s between Herah Fraser Pryce and Elaine Thompson Herah in the last 24 months, we sort of believe now that this is normal. But here's the thing, kings and queens. It's not normal. It's really not normal for a female athlete to be running 10.94, 10.93, 10.89, 10.79 as if it's water. It's actually not normal. It's a sign of supreme sprinting prowess and brilliance as a sprinter. From her 10.94 that you just saw that she ran at the National Stadium, to this. $10.93 at the Puerto Rico Classic. And of course this. $10.89 at the Mount Sac Relays. And although she has not run as many races, Elaine Fraser Pryce has certainly made it very evident that she's also on a whole nother level, running this world leading time of 10.68 in Nairobi, Kenya at the Kenya Classic, and again making it look easy. In 2021, it was more of the same. Both women broke the mythical 10.7 barrier and gave us several sub 10.7, including, of course, Elaine Fraser Pryce's world's third fastest time of 10.60. And Elaine Thompson Herah's mythical 10.54, which was just 0.05 away from breaking the 33-year-old FloJo 100-meter world record, which she did at the Prefontaine Classic last year. One of the remarkable things about the human condition is that human beings are uniquely and remarkably adaptable animals, meaning that we can become accustomed to something very, very quickly. The fact is, before last year, 2021, an athlete, female athlete running a sub 10.8 was considered remarkable, much less a running a sub 10.7. In fact, by my count, outside of FloJo, there might have been, I think, Jetta and the young lady who was banned. Oh my goodness, Marilyn. It'll come back to me. But there might have been no more than 2 or 3 women outside of FloJo who had actually managed to run a sub 10.7. Elaine Thompson Herah and Elaine Fraser Pryce are now consistently running 10.7. So much so that when we saw Shericka Jackson and Sha'Carri Richardson run that 10.92 behind Elaine Thompson Herah's 10.79 at the recently concluded Prefontaine Classic over the 100 meters, we weren't impressed. And in fact, Elaine Thompson Herah's 10.79, which is a remarkable time, I've seen people in the comments say they weren't impressed with that, which is insane. What I'm really saying is these two athletes are really on a whole different level. Now, I'm not taking anything away from a Shericka Jackson or a Sha'Carri Richardson or a Munchinga Kambunji or a Dina Asher Smith or a Shawnee Miller-Weibo or any of these other athletes. I'm simply saying that their talent level is so extreme that it boggles the mind to believe that there are any other athletes. In other words, having Elaine Thompson Herah and Elaine Fraser Pryce here, it's kind of like having 2 Usain Bolts at the same time, at the same place in history. They are at a whole different place and a whole different level. And to me, this is it's just unbelievable, the level of talent. So you see, there's a specific reason why these young ladies have not yet run against each other. And I don't expect them to run against each other until the national trials. Because here's the truth. It's really just a two-horse race. And everyone else is actually fighting for second, third, and possibly fourth place. Well, that's just my 2 cents. Bam wrote 9 months ago, Shelley had the world lead just before the Olympics, and before she retires, I won't put it past her to reclaim it, if not break the world record herself. She never left, and she's always been in the conversation. Double Olympic champion herself. Don't forget. Solid points. Charles McLean said, you are the best Jamaican social media sports commentator. Wow, thank you, boss. Thank you for not speaking about the person everyone keeps speaking about. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so we can continue to grow. When you do that, go ahead and hit the notification bell. Hit the like if you enjoy the content. Leave a comment. You're kings and queens. Bless up!